nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm back like black tracksuit with a black top cap. People love to try, people love to lie. People forget stuff, remember that. We done them good, you remember that. We needed someone, here's the facts. But people love to try, people love to lie. Yeah, this is London, mind the gap. Living life just multitasking. Smile like a horror movie, I'm laughing. Motivated and focused, crafting. Dash something in a break, all your eggs in a basket. Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Please don't try it. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm right. Vibes are here when I am outside. Born for the flows to keep the flows tight. Tell me why they love to lie. Soul is dark but the mind is bright. Nocturnal, we live for the night. You wanna try but yeah, not quite. Monster with the bars, yeah, I might bite. If I have to, I tighten up the mic. See me, I don't do it for the likes. Keep it Air Max, yeah, like my nights. Ooh, I like to plan before I strike. But what do they know? Frequency's high, it never gets low. But yeah, what do they know? You're dripping in drama from head to toe. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always?
Hello everyone, happy Sunday. Hope you have enjoyed your weekend. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much, Church Nelly, for posting the Sussex birthday fundraiser, our annual fundraiser that we do. We are now currently at 23,000 and there's another 85 days left. Imagine. I mean, I said we're going to reach 50,000. We might just get 80,000. We might just get 80. Thank you everyone who has donated so far, and please continue to share it around and give generously if you can. Right, let's get on with it, shall we? Today's going to be a pretty short one. Nothing major, just some petty dramas here and there. Okay, so this is happening over in Switzerland and Germany. Do we have any Swiss or German people in the chat, please? Can you translate? But according to the person who posted this, this is two tabloids in those countries that are reporting on the alleged marital woes of the Waleses. And interesting to see tabloids in other countries that would usually otherwise be scared to post things like this, just going for it. I mean, I've seen things like this in French publications, but this is the first time I'm seeing it in some other countries as well. Also, to Jamaica. Happy Independence Day. And who could forget the absolute disaster that was the Caribbean tour? And William and Kate were pretty much met by the Jamaican PM with a speech about how and why Jamaica was moving forward with independence. And I don't cover the day-to-day antics usually of the other royals unless there's really something that's worth talking about. And I don't think I've actually ever in the 2 odd years that I've been doing this podcast covered the antics of the other royals with as much detail as I did the Caribbean tour, just because there was so much to say every single darn day. I mean, that tour, it gave us jokes and giggles for days. The audacity to show up and do this nonsense that we can see here on the screen. Rolling around in a Jeep like the olden days, literally thinking that they were doing something good with this. I don't know who thought that this was a good idea, but they're dumb as hell. Whichever palace courtier thought that this was a good idea, you're dumb as hell. Instead of moving forward with something more modern looking, we were paying an ode to the past. And that just seems like what this institution is obsessed with, the past. Days gone by. The whole world has moved on. And I want to know really, what purpose does this serve? Are they just serving their own egos by doing this? Are they, I guess this is a dog whistle talking to the old school royalists and monarchists, most of whom won't be here in a good 2-3 decades anyway. So who was this even speaking to, and whose grand idea was this? Nonetheless, happy independence to Jamaica and all of the Jamaican squaddies. And it's not that they cannot be like collaborations between countries, but they have to be collaborations. They have to be meetings of mutual respect where people are on equal footing, not one side showing up in their colonizer cosplay and running around, in a Jeep. Harry and Meghan would never. They would never. Okay. On to then, yeah, Janita. It looks like they're in 1923. Okay, over at GB News, I think the drama of Dan Wooten is really getting to some of their presenters, especially Nana here, who looks like she hasn't slept since the news about Dan Wooten broke. She was on BBC Sunday Morning Live, and Elizabeth here saying that I saw the vile GB News presenter and switched off. Well, that's the best thing to do. Now, I don't actually know what Nana said, what she was talking about here, but it seems like GB News wants to spread their vile rhetoric all over the other news channels as well. Don't know why BBC wanted to have her on. In the Darangers are obsessed news, so there's this Meghan Instagram that people suspect has that people suspect actually is Meghan's. Now, I was actually told some time ago about this. I just never talked about it. But it was Sussex Squad Brazil that did the most incredible private investigating. And this was all the way back when it was only at 200 followers. They noticed that I think it was Mandana had actually followed this account and then very quickly unfollowed it. So that's where the rumors of this being Meghan's account started. Because why would Mandana just randomly follow this account and then quickly unfollow? And I think maybe at one point, Daniel, the makeup artist, was following it as well. So that was some time ago. And since then, a couple, I think Camilla Tominey wrote about it, but even then, it was still, even after Camilla Tominey wrote about it, it was only a couple thousand followers. Now it's shot up to 51,000. And still nobody knows whether or not this is Meghan's account. Also, when this account was first noticed, it had a photo of Meghan as a baby, or not as a baby, just as a young child. And then it's now the avatar, I think it's pink flowers. So it's still following no one. However, guess who's following it also? Royal News Network, aka one of the biggest Deranger accounts. She is the me of Derangerville. And she's actually, unlike me though, she's actually met her fave. She's actually met Kate. And she's taken a photo with Kate. But this is obsession right here. Constantly bitching about Meghan on her platform, but right here, following. And there's just something about Meghan that seems to just bring the worst of the worst together. And you've still got people who can look at photos of Harry and Meghan happy and smiling and in love as they are, and still believe that Harry, according to this fool on Twitter, that Harry is waking up to a nightmare in slow motion after 2 kids and living thousands of miles away with no family from the start. These people are still coping, y'all. They are still coping. This is derangement. Must be the sewerage in the water. It's doing something to their brains, because this is crazy. In Dan Wooten news, Alex Truby, who is Dan's ex, he tweeted this today. He said, deleting all your tweets and replies is completely normal behavior. Literally nothing to see here. So apparently Dan Wooten was deleting tweets. Completely pointless, because we've got Wayback Machine, and I'm sure there is some way to mass archive someone's tweets. I'm sure there's someone that did that straight away, as soon as the news about Dan Woo Woo started. So there's nothing Wooten can do. Finally, there are some mainstream outlets that are reporting on the Dan Wooten news. And one of those being ITV. ITV did have a small segment. So there are other British TV outlets talking about it as well. So little by little, I don't think that GB News can hold the dam for too long, because as soon as other big mainstream outlets start talking about it, I think that the dam is just going to burst open. And we know that there are still more victims. Byline Investigates continues to update their investigation. I mean, the investigation is 3 years long. So there's definitely more than 6 articles they've got in them. And then we've got more people coming. Right. Your comments. LA, yes, jealousy is an illness. It's a full illness. But derangement is something that we need a vaccine for ASAP. Vaccine and a cure. We need both. Trinette, Michelle, obviously this isn't Meghan's account. They both said that they would not return to social media until there are major changes. Well, actually, in the Variety article, Meghan did hint at returning to social media. Go back and read it. She hinted at it. And it's just weird that both Mandana and Daniel would follow that count. So no one knows. It is possible for celebrities and big figures, if somebody has their name, they can actually go directly to, if you're a big enough name, and Meghan is definitely a big enough name, you can actually go directly to Instagram and get your handle back. That is possible. because I'm sure that there's someone who must have had Meghan from a long time ago. And the actual Meghan Markle ad. Let me just check that actually, because I've never even checked that. Because I think she just did she just completely delete her last account, or it's just like privated or it's disappeared somewhere. But if you type in at Meghan Markle, it doesn't come up. Shame. 3 years, probably more than that, years worth of her Instagram gone. Leslie, you said the most recent Ranger I saw said about Harry and Meghan's donation video was about Meghan never looked at Harry in the eye. Like, that is how closely they are watching. Stalker behavior. Yeah, Rahini, I want to be trapped in a Sussex type loving relationship. Can somebody please trap me in that? Thank you so much to Sheila Watson for being a member for 7 months. And thank you also for the super sticker. Much appreciated, darling. Thank you. Tashmak, it's insane because if Harry was really unhappy, wouldn't he have returned to the UK or at least spend more time here? His not being here says everything about how he feels. Exactly. And I maintain that even if Harry and Meghan were to divorce tomorrow, Harry's not going back to the UK. The man is free. His heart is free, his soul is free, his body is free. His pockets are free. Why would he go back? He has everything he never had in the UK, in the US. What would he go back to? And the stupid thing about the courtiers and the palace and the press is that they honestly thought that if they could try and break the Sussex marriage, that Harry would go back. He wouldn't. What is he going back to? Living in a giant shoe the way he was before? Not being invited to his brother's house? Barely seeing his nieces and nephews? What is he going back to? The Murdoch and Rothermere press? Unspiced chicken? What's he going back to? Tashmak, you said she hinted at it, but it doesn't mean she isn't still waiting for progress on the platforms which this last video shows they were working to improve. Yeah, that is true. But there's so many things that they could do. They could just hire a few moderators. They don't have to put comments on. There's a lot they could do. Yeah, Harry's not going to go back to that cesspool. Rahini said, Anne, are Meghan and Harry making a movie? The only movie that I know of is the Invictus documentary that should be coming out anytime soon. I don't know. Haven't heard about that. Maybe it's just a tabloid rumor. Black Queen, you said, is there going to be any more releases from Byline? Yes. Yes. They said that they actually don't know how many they're going to be. Now, very quickly on this Jennifer Aniston situation with Jamie Foxx. So Jamie Foxx posted this message on his Instagram. And the message read, they killed this dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you? Hashtag fake friends, hashtag fake love. Now, some people misinterpreted this as being anti-Semitic. I couldn't understand why when I saw it. And then people were explaining on Twitter that they is often actually a dog whistle that right-wingers use against the Jewish community. Hence why some people interpreted his tweet as being anti-Semitic. Now, what happened was Jennifer Aniston liked this post that Jamie Foxx had put up. And she then posted, this makes me really sick. I did not like this post on purpose or by accident. And more importantly, I want to be clear to my friends and anyone hurt by this showing up in their feeds. I did not support any form of anti-Semitism, and I truly don't tolerate hate of any kind, period. That just doesn't make sense to me. I did not like this post on purpose or by accident. And then Jamie Foxx then responded by saying, I want to apologize to the Jewish community and everyone who was affected by my post. I now know my choice of words have caused offense, and I'm sorry. That was never my intent. To clarify, I was betrayed by a fake friend, and that's what I meant with they, not anything more. I only have love in my heart for everyone. I love and support the Jewish community. My deepest apologies to anyone who was offended. Nothing but love always, Jamie Foxx. So Jamie handling it, I think, in a very classy way and just explaining himself. There were also some people who pointed out that the phrase they is used differently in the African American community and is part of also African American vernacular. So it's interpreted very, very differently to some other people. So I think that was a classy response by Jamie Foxx. It did just kind of look like, I think, Jennifer Aniston, I think she just misinterpreted it and she just jumped to, I think she just didn't give it a moment to think. She just posted. And her and Jamie Foxx are, I mean, I don't know if they're friends, but they have been, kind of seen together. I think they've worked together. So for me personally, if I saw my friend posting something that I thought was offensive, I would talk to them directly. Like, what is this? This doesn't seem right that you've said this. Can you please explain yourself? As opposed to publicly almost seeming like she threw him under the bus. And I mean, she's had to actually turn off her comment section because people were just cooking her in the comments. And what is even more interesting about Jennifer Aniston is she has been a low-key hater, a Meghan hater for a while. She follows accounts that hate on Meghan and Angelina Jolie. There was this one Instagram post by a Instagrammer who she posts about all kinds of celebrities and all kinds of things. Now, if you actually read the beginning of this post, it actually starts off saying something that makes sense. She's talking about gun laws and how we need tougher gun laws, and then she kind of goes from that into talking about how Prince Harry is the worst brother, attending his coronation solo without Meghan Markle was a smart decision. And Jennifer Aniston liked that post, and she follows this account that posts very nasty things about some of her fellow celebrities. And this is someone who said that she steered clear of social media to avoid hurtful comments while liking hurtful comments about other people and, throwing some of her fellow Hollywood friends under the bus because she misinterpreted what, someone else had said. So all I have to say about this is I hope Angelina Jolie is having a good day. I was always on Team Jolie. Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I was always on Team Jolie. And yeah, let's just I think the lesson here is just that if you think a friend has said something that is offensive, do call them out on it, but maybe do it in private first and just really get context about what they mean. Otherwise, you can just end up in a mess like we are here. Nothing wrong with calling out your friends, but just make sure you have the context of what they're saying, especially if you are a major celebrity on a major platform. All right, that is all I had to say about that. Yeah, there was something else I wanted to speak about regarding the tabloids and UK Prime Minister, but I didn't want this podcast to be more than half an hour, and we're going there, and there's quite a lot that I have to say, so I'm gonna have to move it maybe to tomorrow's podcast or another podcast. But some very interesting things regarding the former head of the Daily fail and some stuff I dug up, but I'll leave it on a cliffhanger. We can talk about that in another podcast, okay? Right, let's end with your comments, and then yeah, we will call it a day. But I guess you can never really judge people, by their cute faces, shall we say? Because I just never had Jennifer Aniston down as like a hater. And it's not the. I mean, that's just one example of something that she's like. I'm saying something negative about Meghan, but there's other times she's done it as well. I think she liked tweets on Twitter that were anti Meghan. Tashmak, she seems to have an issue with attractive women who are philanthropists and beloved for their humility and philanthropy. Yeah, seems so. Marilyn, yeah, that's true. And if Jennifer Aniston was a true friend to Jamie Foxx, she would have reached out to him directly. She's fake. Yeah. Oh, so, y'all are really coming for Jennifer in the comments. Wow. Dang. Kids not trying to be rude, but when is Jennifer Aniston last in a good film? I don't know. Um, yeah, light side. Like you'd think that she'd just chat to him privately. What would even drive her to post that? I mean, if she talked to him privately, and he then went on to say something that was hugely derogatory, then I think you could say something. Uh, Little Mac, I think his apology was nice, but if he started the story about fake friends, I don't see why the word they was so triggering. Yeah, well, I wasn't aware. Sometimes you're just not aware of these things, and I wasn't aware that that was the dog whistle that some people use. The more you know. So she was never in a good movie. Wasn't she in that movie about with a dog, Marley and Me? I've never actually seen that movie. I just remember the movie poster. Leslie, did you see the German tabloid? Yeah, I put it at the beginning of the podcast. Rahini, I never watched Friends. It was a rip-off of Living Single. What's Living Single? What's Living Single? I actually did watch Friends, and I did like Friends. So I'm not I'm not gonna hate on Friends. Like it was a cultural phenomenon. Let's be real. I never liked the ending though. I never liked that Rachel didn't go to Paris. That she stayed in New York for Ross. I hated that. But I'm gonna keep it real. I like Friends. But I don't know what Living Single is. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah. DB, she's an undercover hater. Twist and Charles just said, never understood the fascination with Aniston. Well, she had that, good girl next door look and vibe, and that sells very well in the US. I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to. So I think that was her appeal, and she was, she was married to Brad Pitt, who was the heartthrob in the '90s, and yeah, like she did have her moment where she was a star, and every woman at that time anyway, back in the '90s, wanted to be with Brad Pitt. So I think that was really her appeal. That girl next door who got the heartthrob, and then obviously when the relationship with Angelina Jolie happened, most people took her side, and Angelina got painted as the villain, the other woman, and Jennifer, the innocent one who was done wrong. So I think that's where a lot of her popularity came from. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it there. We will come back tomorrow. And okay, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, folks. And thank you everyone for. Oh, Black Queen, you said Living Single was a 90s phenomenon that they ripped off to make Friends. Queen Latifah was on it. Go and watch it. Oh, okay. Because all of a sudden, Queen Latifah was all over my feed. Is that why? Was this a Queen Latifah show? Okay. I'm going to go check that out. Thank you so much for explaining that, Black Queen. And thanks for the super sticker. All right. We will leave it there. See you tomorrow, folks. Ciao.
Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't.
Sorry, guys, I just had to stop the outro and say thank you so much to Esleen Mills and Maureen Reed for the coffees. Maureen, that is so generous of you. Thank you so much for 6 coffees. All right, now we can do the outro. Ciao.
Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm back like black tracksuit with a black top cap. People love to try, people love to lie, people forget stuff, remember that. We done them good, you remember that. We needed someone, here's the facts. But people love to try, people love to lie. Yeah, this is London, mind the gap. Living life just multitasking. Smile like a horror movie, I'm laughing. Motivated and focused, crafting. Dash something in a break, all your eggs in a basket. Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Please don't try it. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm right. Vibes are here when I am outside. Born for the flows to keep the flows tight. Tell me why they love to lie. Soul is dark but the mind is bright. Nocturnal, we live for the night. You wanna try but yeah, not quite. Monster with the bars, yeah, I might bite. If I have to, I tighten up the mic. See me, I don't do it for the likes. Keep it Air Max, yeah, like my nights. Ooh, I like to plan before I strike. But what do they know? Frequency's high, it never gets low. But yeah, what do they know? You're dripping in drama from head to toe. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving